Hi, my name is Miss Angie. Well, first name is Melinda, but you guys cannot call me Melinda, only the teachers and friends. I was born and raised in the Dominican Republic and came to America in 1995. And I have been living here for 19 years in the United States. The first thing that came into my mind, I thought of that everything would be very hard. People always mention to me about McDonald's, but I'm not a fast food type kind of eater. And I did see a lot of McDonald's around. And when I first came here, I lived in New York. So many of my friends did go to New York and came back to the Dominican Republic, and they did mention a lot about McDonald's and working there. But my thought is about how hard it will be to live in the United States. My first thought of America and ideas, first of all, is free education. Nowadays, still free education, and free public education, especially. I really took advantage of the free education provided in the United States. Whether New York or Los Angeles, I'm a teacher right now, and I do tell my students, teach my students that they have to take advantage of free education. It's what made me a teacher here and a successful person. And we have to take advantage of this freedom of the education provided in the United States. The decision wasn't mine, first of all. It was my father who decided to uh, send us to the United States for a better education. And he always said that earning dollars had more value, more valor than the peso back in my country in the Dominican Republic. Um, and well, first reason is to take advantage of the free education, and the second reason is because my dad didn't want me to get married with a Dominican guy. And he said that in the United States I had more opportunities to meet uh, Asian people. I missed a lot the beaches, the weather, delicious food, my friends, and especially the siesta, which when I found out that in the United States we don't have siesta, and the siesta was very important for everybody. In the Dominican Republic, it's basically a time where people will rest, maybe between 12 o'clock to 1 or 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So the entire country, city, capital is so quiet. Everybody, after they have their afternoon lunch or tea, they just rest or sleep. And I think United States life is so fast, stressful. I think that's what we need, a siesta. Stop 1 or 2 hours and rest, reflect, sleep, or just have fun time in those 1 or 2 hours spending with friends. So siesta, that the most important thing that I really miss is the siesta. Besides the beaches, weather, food, and friends. I don't think there's some hardest is I will say not the custom, but I will say English barrier. I had a difficulty in learning the language even up until the second year of college, I was still taking ESL classes. The custom wise is easily adapted to any custom. Um, Being an Asian born in the Dominican Republic, when I came to the United States, there were a lot of Asian that I live around with. And when I went to school, I had friends that were Dominican and Puerto Rican, so we kind of like practice our own culture, living in a very metropolitan city, um, and studying together with people from different nationalities. And because America is a, how do you call that? Cultural pot? I don't know how to call it. Or a mixture of.
Melting pot?
Melting
A melting pot, sorry, a melting pot. Thank you, Jerome. A melting pot of a different culture. So I was so easily adapted to the American culture. I could say pretty well. As I mentioned before about the melting pot, being a nation and knowing, born in the Dominican Republic and knowing Spanish, I was surrounded by a Dominican and Puerto Rican neighborhood when I was finishing my high school and my bachelor's degree back in New York. Um, I was always surrounded by people who spoke Spanish and Chinese, and it made it very comfortable for me to adapt to America and meet a lot of friends and different people. Uh, and then after I got married and moved to Los Angeles, I adapted easily to the Mexican culture. Very surprising because the difference between New York had a lot of Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, the neighborhood that I stayed in. And then when I came here, Mexican is populated majority by in Los Angeles. And because knowing Spanish helped me a lot adapting in LA and in general in America. If you remember about the one of the questions that said about English barrier, I had great difficulty learning English, and up into my second year of my bachelor's degree, getting my bachelor's degree in college, I was still taking ESL classes, and on my second year, that's when I decided, you know what, I'm going to be a Spanish teacher because my Spanish was still very strong, and I just saw my professor doing a great job, and I was an assistant, and I learned a lot from them, and that's and because I had a very strong background in Spanish, it really made me decide to be a Spanish teacher and to continue to grow my Spanish and perfect my Spanish.